Hi guys. Today I just want to talk about a little topic that has been on my heart and mind for a while now, being in the health and fitness space, being in a more body positive health and fitness space. And this topic is the idea of body acceptance rather than body love or loving your body. And this is especially important, or what I think it's important in pregnancy and after, in the postpartum period, 1 to 2 years postpartum. This is a huge concept that I think a lot of women need to hear, that it's okay to accept their bodies, and that you don't necessarily have to love your body. This may be shocking, but I'm actually not a fan for the idea of loving your body. That sounds really shocking to hear from me, but I'm going to explain why. Loving your body, especially for someone who maybe has lived in body hate for a long time, can be a very big task to take on. It can feel very insurmountable to be like, oh, just love your body. That for someone who has hated their body for so long and maybe is in a vulnerable time period like pregnancy or postpartum or living with, their new mom bod, loving your body can feel like a huge, undoable, insurmountable task or thing to ask. So, I'm not a fan for the statements, like really common cliche things that are like, just love your body for what it did, mama, or like, just you grew your precious baby, so love it for that. I actually don't love those statements, even though they're super well-meaning. So if you've ever said that, please don't feel guilty or anything. I've said it before, like a lot, and recently too. So this is not meant to be condemning, but I've just found that these things are well-meaning to say, but don't usually make the mom feel better. These are things that the mom knows usually in her brain, like, wow, my body made this baby. Like, I love my baby, so I should love this body that made that baby, right? But there's just a disconnect there, because the truth is they still look in the mirror and see this foreign new version of themselves with stretch marks and a belly and wider hips, and just it feels confusing and different. And so she feels maybe even more guilt of like, I should love this body that created this baby that I love, but I don't. And it's okay. So I say and promote with just my message and on social media, something that I'm always working through personally, and that I really hope that my clients work through, is the idea of body acceptance. This is the place we have to move towards first. And that if you hate your body, and if loving your body feels really impossible, then what we need to do is move towards body acceptance first. And so I'm going to go over just what is maybe the difference between body acceptance versus this idea of loving your body. And maybe this will help bring some clarity and some light, and maybe encourage us that if you've really struggled with body image and just can't will yourself to just love your body, that maybe we can start moving towards acceptance. And that can maybe be a little bit more doable for us. Okay, so acceptance versus love. Body acceptance is acknowledging that there are pieces of your body that you maybe don't love, but also knowing that it's okay to not love every piece of your body. Love tells us we have to love our whole body. Like when you just love your body, it's like, yes, including your stretch marks, including, your cellulite or whatever. Whereas acceptance is acknowledging that I can accept this body that I'm in, and there are pieces of it that I don't love, but that is okay. And so that's one difference. Another difference is acceptance is acknowledging the current season you're in, and that your body needs to be where it's at right now for this season's demands. So this is really important for pregnancy and postpartum, that even if you're doing all the right things, you may still gain 60 pounds in your pregnancy. And just acknowledging and accepting, okay, this is what my body needs to do now for this season. And I need to trust that the demands of this season, my body's responding the way it needs to. Whereas body love is kind of more blind to the time periods and seasons. It's just kind of love your body all the time. Whereas I think there's a lot of freedom in acknowledging, like, hey, I'm pregnant. Hey, I am postpartum, newly postpartum, 1 year postpartum. And so my body has different needs right now, and I can accept that. So acceptance involves acknowledging the season you're in and the different demands and the changing seasons our bodies will go through, even aging. If you're not pregnant or postpartum, just acknowledging that aging is going to happen and it's okay. Acceptance means we are not obsessed with our bodies and can actually go periods of time without thinking about our bodies because we've accepted that this is where we are. Love means still thinking about our bodies frequently, even if positively. So, there's a lot of talk about like your affirmations and affirming your body and talking about your body positively all the time, which is great. And I think that can help rewire our brains. But sometimes women just need to like not think about their bodies all the time. Like I prefer, and I'm happier and more free when I'm not really telling myself the positive statements, and instead I'm just not obsessing or thinking about it or caring. So acceptance is a place where we are not obsessed and we don't have to think about our bodies all the time. Acceptance also means we don't feel the need to make negative comments. We can feel neutral rather than always wanting to improve. Love feels like we need to overcompensate with positive comments. So acceptance means that we're not berating ourselves, we're not putting ourselves down, we're not giving into those negative type comments or thoughts, but we can feel neutral. Like we can feel this place of like, this is where I am and it's okay. And I accept this is where I am. We can and allow ourselves to feel neutral rather than overly positive to make up for this place where we feel not positive. So if you're really feeling towards the negative, then a good goal is to maybe feel more neutral rather than feeling like you have to swing to the other end of like super positive. Acceptance coincides with respect. Acknowledging what your body has been through and respecting that there are signs of that. So acknowledging that you have been through pregnancy, you have had kids, and so the stretch marks are there because that's what you've been through. Love makes us feel we have to love what our body has been through and the fact that our bodies have signs of that. So love makes us feel like, I love that I grew this baby and I love that I brought him into the world and that, I had this labor and delivery and blah, blah, blah. You don't have to love that. You don't have to love pregnancy or love that you had a really uncomfortable pregnancy because you had a 10-pound baby and now you have all these stretch marks that show it or whatever it is, or, the extra belly. But we can respect like, whoa, I cannot believe that this short torso had a 10-pound baby. And yes, I have stretch marks. And I respect that there are signs of that struggle that I went through, rather than feeling like you have to love that you went through that. So acceptance coincides with respect. Respect for your body, respect for what you've been through, respect for what your body has been through. So those are just some differences between acceptance and love. It can get a little murky, but I would encourage you, especially in pregnancy and postpartum, if you have struggled with body hate and this season just really brings that out in you, that don't feel like you have to like swing to the other end and love your body. That's a very big task to ask of yourself and mentally. That's not going to take you very far. It may not last. So what I would suggest is like, let's take steps to accept our bodies and where we are right now, and say like, hey, this season I'm in, this is what my body needs to be in. And so I hope that helped kind of clarify acceptance versus like the body love kind of movement or message. I hope that this encouraged you that you can take steps if loving your body feels like something really insurmountable and big. Like, I understand that. I'm with you. And I don't, want to push you to feel like you have to be super positive about your body all the time. But even we can move towards neutrality. We can move towards acceptance and not obsession. We can move towards just knowing that this is where we are right now and it's okay. So I hope this was really encouraging for you. Please let me know in the comments if you agree with this, if you have found that loving your body has been really, really hard and not doable, and how you feel about body acceptance and what that journey is like for you. I'd love to hear your thoughts in your comments below.